So Blizzard is doing a pretty big patch today, and normally I don't really do patch review videos, but I am very excited to see what Blizzard is doing today. So let's take a peek, shall we? Because Gadgetzan Auctioneer is in the photo. This card's been in the game since Classic, which is why I'm very confused and excited at the same time. It's like a regular Friday night for me in college, am I right? Dev comment, we have a lot of card changes in this patch and a lot to share about why these changes are being made. For the standard focus changes, we are addressing both power outliers and players experience outliers in this patch. When we buffed Warrior in their last patch, we did so knowing that they'd get more powerful tools in the mini set. Okay, Blizzard, okay. But we wanted to make sure that deck hit, so we erred on the side of over buffing it, knowing that we'd have the option to make a small correction back down if needed. I'm a big fan of this. It kind of sucks when like they release new cards and they don't really do anything. So I'm a big fan of this. I kind of like it. Even though nowadays Warrior's really, really good, I'm a big fan. Now that the mini set has landed, Warrior's looking like one of the most standout classes. I think it's like the best class in the game right now, right? So we're making those adjustments. Hunter has also one of the strongest decks in the format. They're talking about standard, right? Yeah. And we expect it to be stronger after the changes we're making this patch. So we're making a small adjustment to bring this power down. So they're nerfing Hunter just in case. Moon of Pride is an adjustment to take away the negative play experience of cheating out super early Sargeras. I almost feel like they should show the change first and then discuss it. So we're gonna look at the changes and then go back up. So Movement of Pride is rather than drawing your highest cost minion reduce its cost by 6, it just draws a minion and reduces its cost by 6. So the good thing about this is that you're no longer guaranteed to get Sargeras every single time. The bad side about this is that it can still happen. And I'm not really sure what the build is of Warlock right now, but I'm not 100% sure if this is actually going to be enough for this not to feel as bad. I almost feel like the best way of doing this was to reduce it by 3. So like you pay the mana cost to reduce it, then you feel good about it. If it's possible to just run Sargeras only or like a couple big boys, this is still going to feel like it's still going to feel bad, but at least it's not consistent. I think that's a big change. So what was the reason for this? Moon Pride is an adjustment to take away the negative play experience of cheating out a super early Sargeras. Okay. That's okay, cool. Coppertail Snoop, old is 4 attack and 3 health to 3 attack and 2 health. So rather than increasing the mana, they decided to just nerf the stats. I don't know if that's really good enough. I mean, the 1 damage is always going to be relevant, and of course the health is going to be as well. I think the real problem with, at least from my opinion, the problem against going Mech Rogue when they play this card onto a mech is that it does the damage, but then you also get the coin back. So it's almost like this is 2 mana for the effect. I wonder if it was safer to go for 4 mana, because then it's like a 3 mana card, but you got the coin. It's a 4 mana card, but you got the coin, so it makes it like 3 mana in a sense, right? I'm sure this will be fine. I'm just not sure if it's like going to be good enough. We'll see. Coppertail Snoop is adjustment to a powerful deck and a negative play experience. Amen. By taking away some of the rogues, Mech Rogue's burst and snowball potential. Okay, fair enough. Sure. Spite Lash Siren, old 4 mana, 2 attack, 5 health to 2. Okay, so they're, I don't have to read this one. I already know why they're doing this. They nerfed this card because the play pattern of this was like disgusting, and they unnerfed it because I think Mage was in a pretty weird spot at the time. Turned out that putting it back to 4 mana was pretty great, and it ended up being a very good deck. When I did the video of like cheating against the rank 1 legend player, Pocket Train literally told me like, this deck's disgusting. I don't know if you want it into the video. And if you go watch that video, you can see why this card's being nerfed, if I'm going to be honest with you. Starstrong Bow, 6 attack, 2 durability to 5. Again, I don't know if this one's very relevant. It's 2 damage off for, it's 1 damage off for 1 swing, 2 damage off for 2 swings. Maybe it saves you by 1 turn, maybe, right? But for most cases, that 1 damage is not going to be super relevant. But I'm glad they at least did something, because if they didn't nerf Hunter, I feel like Hunter is just going to run the game. We'll see though. Craftsman Hammer, old is when you gain 4 armor. Now, whenever your hero attacks, you gain 3. So this just slightly lowers Warrior survivability, but it also lowers the burst by a little bit. It's actually kind of nice that they're doing these like little micro adjustments rather than just full like this card's dead. Like we all were there for when they nerfed Warsong Commander. They just absolutely killed the card. At least nowadays they do these tiny micro adjustments. This reminds me a ton of what League of Legends does, just little changes to hopefully push the archetype in a more balanced direction. So I can really get behind this. Sanitize, old 4 mana to 5. This is probably a good change. Compare this card to Brawl. This card is like infinitely better for the most part, especially because it doesn't burn your armor when you cast it. Good card. You're still completely fine with forging this. This is a good card. This will still absolutely be played. And this will probably be played until it rotates out for a warrior, unless they decide to nerf it again. Contaminated Lasher, old 2 mana 3 attack to 2 health to new 3 mana 3 attack 3 health. So stats are irrelevant on this card if I'm going to be completely honest. You're basically getting 1 mana back for playing this card, and you summon a 3/3. I don't know how much that's going to really impact the druid deck that's currently popping off in standard. I'm actually really curious to read the notes here. Hold on, let's see what they said. That's what I do when I'm looking for something specific. I make random noises and hope I find it faster. Oh, okay. So for a long time, oh, they didn't really talk about it. It looks like they're just talking about auctioneer. All right, let's go to auctioneer then. Screw druid. I guess that's the real focal point of this entire thing, right? Gadgets and auctioneer is being nerfed from 6 mana to 7. I don't know how I feel about this, man. It's so, I was having this discussion on stream yesterday, and I'm really curious to read comments on this. Is auctioneer the problem, or is it the cards that they're releasing currently, right? Because like there is a huge argument to be made that a card that's been around for 10 years is only really good because currently there's so much mana cheating and ways to use this effect. But I guess like as long as this card's in the game, it's always going to be scary. So sure, it's just weird to see it get nerfed after like 9 years of play. It's crazy. Removed from the core set, so it's no longer standard legal. This is probably for the best because it's more important that they don't just outright kill the card. Like you don't want cards to be dead, even in wild. I wonder if they're gonna put another card into the core set because of the change here. That would be really cool if they supplemented like the 6-drop or something with another cool card. Something would be really cool. Just something to play with. Put in like what's a cool card? Like put in Loatheb, right? Like just jam Loatheb in here. Let's see what happens. Chamber, 2 mana 3 durability, 3 mana 2 durability. Great change if I'm going to be honest. This is, I think, one of the best cards ever to get into the mulligan, and obviously it was dominating wild in twist. So this had to happen. This had to happen. Will this be good enough is the real question. Obviously, it's going to nerf it into the right direction. You can't use it 3 times. But I still feel like it's a really good card. It's just drawing 2 cards every single time and picking your discard, and that's a really big deal. So this card will probably still see play. Dark Bargain's getting nerfed. Oh my god. From 3 to 4. I believe it was 4 mana to begin with anyways. Or was it 5? I can't remember. Maybe it was 5. Hilarious this card's getting nerfed. I never would have imagined it, but it's probably for the best. This is maybe a wild change, but it might be honestly for twist. Tiny Knight of Evil is getting... Oh, it's just +2, +1. This is a good change because that means it's much easier to deal with it by killing it. Because the attack, as much as it is very relevant, it's more the health because not every class can deal with that extra percentage of health. So probably for the best, probably still going to be good in wild. Actually, I don't know if it's playing wild. Probably going to be good in twist. We'll put it there. Twist for sure. Blast from the Past, 3 to 4 mana. This is probably because if they nerfed discard Warlock and twist and potentially wild. I don't know how relevant this card is in wild. This warrior would be too good because warrior is like the other really good deck in the format right now. So this is probably a mandatory change. Yeah, they're just nerfing this to make sure warrior is more in line. Jade Telegram, old 3 mana, 4 mana. I mean, it's definitely weaker. It's probably still going to get played. The new twist format is basically the same twist format that we have now, but with Renathal. But you could pick the amount of cards you want into your deck. So I still think Jade's is going to be really good. And because card draw is at such a premium in that twist format, I still think this is going to be played. But again, it makes the deck slightly weaker, which is probably for the best, right? They want more stuff to try, or they want more other classes to shine in the twist format. Scarab Gong is being nerfed from 2 health to 1. Huge change. That means you can't fill the board up twice. They're really nerfing Rogue, which is good. Blade of Cthulhu's going from 6 to 7. Sure. That's probably okay. I mean, 6 mana actually for this card was pretty good. So sure, that's fine. Trial of Yogamurgs. I've never seen this card get played. I also haven't played Twist in a while, so I'm just going to trust them that this card's probably for the best. Spirit of the Frogs going for 3 to 5. I called this yesterday. I'm glad they kept the card of what it is, but they're reducing how fast you can just outright burst your opponent. It's a really big deal to have some kind of interaction. Now that I played Runeterra, it's funny, like picturing dying in a combo deck in Hearthstone compared to what it is in Runeterra is like night and day. Runeterra, it doesn't feel nearly as bad because you at least have some interaction. But yeah, Fire Dance of Flurry's going from 2 to 4. They missed the bracket on that. It's okay. We all make mistakes. So that means the combo of playing Flurgle and Toxfin is now 6 mana instead of 4. Pretty big deal. It opens the aggro decks to have a little bit more leeway and a big board, so you don't just get absolutely rolled down by the Murlocs. I still feel like this is too good of a combo not to see play, so I'll probably see play. Skargle's going for 4 to 5. I don't know if this actually makes any difference, but sure. It's probably okay. Shadowhouse is going from 6 to 7. Big Priest is taking a little bit of an L. I'm sure everyone's stoked about that. We don't know how to talk about that. This one I'm really excited to see. The next Seeker you play this turn costs 0. To the next Seeker you play this turn costs 1. This is a really interesting change because that just means if you're on the coin, you're fine with coining out a secret most of the time. But you can't use the secret. You can't use the coin later. But if you're not on the coin, playing this card will probably never happen. You would always play this on turn 2. So it basically delays how much tempo you get on turn 1 with a card with Cabal Lackey. Will this card still see play? There's a lot of cards that discount Secrets and Mage. This card actually may get cut from Secret Mage if they don't need it. I'm interested in that. Mech Warper is banned, probably for the best. I personally would have done 2 mana 2/3. Your mechs cost 1 less, but can't cost less than 1. I don't know why Hearthstone is so against that idea. Maybe they are doing this because this card is playable in Twist. Maybe after the Twist format, they'll change it to that. I don't understand. Like, I think they could have done that with Sorcerer's Apprentice too. I don't understand why they're scared of doing that text. It's absolutely hilarious. Tony, King of Piracy, is now banned in Wild. Man, they actually banned Tony. That is incredible. Both players' decks are swapped. Finale, draw a card. I can't believe it. I guess the logic behind this is like, the card is fine in Standard, and they want the card to be playable in Standard. It is a fun card. I'm a huge fan of this card. But in Wild, because of like Tony Druid, and I believe it's played in Demon Hunter, they can't really nerf this card while still making it playable in Standard, so they're going to ban it once. Wow, this card's going to be banned for actually a really long time because it's not going to rotate for another whole year. So Tony's dead. Man, it's actually incredible. Okay. Let's look at the buffs. The following cards have been adjusted to be more powerful. Down with the Ship. Old Frost Unholy to Unholy. Huge, dude. Ginormous change, if I'm going to be honest. The fact that you have to spend Run Frost with this is so awful, but now Plague Demon Hunter. Now Plague Death Knight actually has a legitimate chance to see play. Big fan. And I'm assuming it's the same thing with this. Yeah. I was a little nervous that they were going to make this card deal 4 damage instead, but I'm glad they just took the rune requirement off. I think it's a really big deal. Now you can go for triple Unholy if you want, which I think is good. You could also go for 1 Unholy 2 Blood, which is cool. I'm a big fan. And I'm assuming with Sidra, yeah. So I was talking about this yesterday. I don't think they would have buffed the card, but they're definitely going to take a rune out of it. And I think this is safe. So now you can run it in triple Frost, which I think is a big deal because the card is actually good. But will it? I don't know if this card is going to see play. I can definitely see these cards seeing more play now because there's more versatility to them. But like, you don't care about this in Blood. I don't know if Frost really has the package for this card because like you'd rather just outright kill your opponent than clear their minions, and you get to freeze their minions anyways, right? Tears. Old is resurrect 3 different paladin minions, set their stats to 2/2/4 to resurrect another. To new, resurrect 3 different minions from your class, set their stats to 2/2. Good change. Because that means that if you generate this card and you're not paladin, you can resurrect some minion. So it's just not a dev card. This will make this card better when generated by other classes. True. Tirion Fordring is going from a 6/6 to an 8/8. Dude, I can't believe they buffed Tirion. Tirion has been in the game just like Gadgetzan and Auctioneer all the way from the beginning, and he's never been nerfed. Gadgetzan at least was nerfed from 5 to 6 mana. Dude, this guy, it blows my mind that this card was buffed. It's so funny. The cool thing is about Tirion is it's currently in Standard. Will this see play in Standard? I don't know if an 8 mana 8/8 Divine Shield Taunt is good enough, which is so unfortunate because I feel like Tirion should be a much more notable card if it's in the current set. But hopefully this does something. Lord Jaraxxus is going from a 9 mana card to an 8 mana card. Huge. Dude, I called this yesterday too. Let's go. They didn't do a note here, but I'm guessing the reason is so that you can play this on turn 10 in Hero Power and generate a 6/6. Will this card see play? Probably not. Will this card see play in Standard? Probably not. Both of these are probably going to be good in Twist, though, especially this one in a 40 card deck. If you end up getting Jaraxxus, it'll be insane. Tirion holds going for 2 mana and 1. Wild, this is probably irrelevant, but in twists, sure, maybe it has potential with like cards like Nourish. Dragonfire potions go to 5. Yep, that's fine. Bronze Dragon Knight, old. If this had 5 or more attacks, I'm gonna copy this to new taunt. Battleground this one and copy. Okay, that's kind of nice if it has taunt. So this is like buffing it for like the hand buff package in from Mean Streets of Gadsden and probably twist again. We'll see if it actually ends up being relevant. Oh my god, that's a ginormous change. Man, this card had overload 5. Okay, so it does 2. I genuinely wish though that they just made the card deal like 4 damage or 5 damage, because it's still gonna feel really like cards like this shouldn't be in the game, in my personal opinion. I think this random amount of damage is just feeling bad for one player, and they don't need it. I'd rather just have a consistent effect. They took it off Lightning Storm for a reason. Why not just do it here? I would rather have this card have 3 overload and deal 5 damage guaranteed. You know what I mean? Alec here, the Winds of Time is going from 5 to 8 armor. I mean, sure. I think the bigger problem with this card is just it doesn't do enough for you to actually play it unless you legitimately can draw a charged Divine Shield taunt and a Wind Fury minion, but it's so awkward to put into your deck. Maybe in the new twist format it's playable. Wow, this is irrelevant. Battlegrounds, if you're interested in Battlegrounds. Anything cool? No. Anything else in this format or anything else in this patch? Where's the mercenary update? Duels. Don't care. Any cool bug fixes? No. All right, so that's pretty much the patch. A lot of changes here. It's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening. I still can't believe they nerfed Gadsden Auctioneer, man, and they buffed Tirion. But that's Hearthstone. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you watching.